Hello everyone and welcome back to OverPlay, the only show on the internet combine the intellectual prowess of an overview with the subversive insanity of a let's play, and while there's probably a good reason for that, we don't have time to talk about it today because we have to talk about Soulcalibur VI. Now, why am I talking about Soulcalibur VI? Especially after what I'm going to say about it? Well, I'll get into that when I get to it. But for right now, let's focus on the game itself. And Soulcalibur VI is... And I honestly mean that the best possible way. Now, let's go ahead and start out with some of the good things about this game. Mostly in how there are no microtransactions that actually use real money. Thank you, God, with an asterisk. Now, I will talk more about that when we get to what I really do not like about this, mostly at the end of this video. For now, let's talk about the story, or much rather, stories. In this, there are two of them. One you go through with an original created character, which you give loose guidelines as to how the character works by giving them an overview, or not really an overview, but much more of a character to represent, i.e. you take on their fighting styles, and you run them through various bouts throughout the world and complete a story to get soul points, which you use to buy the stuff in character creation to make your character look interesting. Or, if you'd rather play the original characters, which we'll go through for the sake of this, you can play generalized story mode where you go through and you do exactly that. You play the main story with the various characters that entails. Right now I'm playing through as Keelik, and that's about all I can say. Mostly because it's really boring. Now, I don't mean that the combat is boring. The combat is actually done very well. It feels very much like the other Soul Caliburs. What I unfortunately mean is this is the extent of what you get for, well, cutscenes. Which, don't get me wrong, they're good images. I do like the line work and the coloring looks very nice. But unfortunately, when you have this level of creativity behind a, honestly, really great graphics engine, we'll go ahead and just skip this for now, so I can get to the actual gameplay and show you what you'll actually be looking at in combat for this. And yeah, the characters look phenomenally good. Like I say, it's almost insulting that they use that horribly generic little pop-up window of your character just drawn. Which isn't to say that that's a bad thing. Now, in the previous games, I accepted this, mostly because, well, these games usually have a budget of a shoestring if it were sliced down through a potato slicer. So, you kind of just had to work with what you got. This, though, I don't know what the excuse is. This is the 6th game in the series. It's not like they don't understand how to make this game fun. The gameplay speaks for itself in that manner. And I got nothing for that. It feels lazy and like wasted potential, which is damn sad because the rest of this game looks phenomenal. As I'm hoping comes across. Ow! Dick. I suppose it would have helped if I had watched the cutscene and I'd figure out why I'm facing a lizard person. And that's all you get for your scenes in between the fights. The character models look really great, and it baffles me as to why that is what they prefer to give you as opposed to fully rendered models. Yeah, it would probably take more time and make the game a little bit more expensive to make, but damn if it wouldn't look fantastic. And that kind of seems to be the running theme of this. Wasted potential. Very sadly wasted potential, I might add. But that's a topic for more after the other portions of this, so let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. As far as the controls go, it's Soulcalibur to a core. It honestly feels great to be back in this world playing with these characters. The fast characters feel light and good and fast to use. The bigger characters are slower, but they pack more of a punch. And yeah, the medium and in-between characters all kind of feel about halfway in between it all, but that's how they're supposed to feel. Everyone fills their role out perfectly. That being said, the roster has shrunk a bit. And by that I mean it's down to the core characters that everybody seemed to love from Soulcalibur 2 forward. Which is kind of a... I don't want to say a deal breaker, but it's more of a disappointment. Especially when we get to other portions later on. Without giving too much away on that, it feels like they just said, what's popular, let's go with that, don't bother with anything else. Sure, they have Geralt, but that's always been more of a marketing scheme, like when they put Darth Vader and Yoda in Soulcalibur 4. And it just feels disappointing. And I don't know, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way, like I say. And that's all there really is to say about the gameplay. Honestly, if you've enjoyed Soulcalibur for the past few games, you'll enjoy the gameplay in this one. Let's get to the fighting here, guys. As you can see, those cutscenes tend to drag, only highlighting the frustration when you actually get to the small snippets of gameplay where you actually see really, really good character models bouncing around and playing on the screen. Ah, oh my god. He is absolutely taking me apart there. Time to break out the patented Maxi, never stop moving. Ow. There we go, there we go. But that's about all I can say about that. Now, moving on to the other portion, and this is what I meant about what feels bad. The characters are mostly there. Unfortunately, Bandai Namco have chosen to lock a very specific character, Tira, behind a paywall, either for a $6 payment or for buying the season pass. Now, they've announced other characters to be released as well, and I'm concerned about what they'll do for that. I don't mind paying for other characters, especially if that's how they're going to try and support the business model. That's fine. It's DLC. It's what DLC should be. Improvements upon the base game. Unfortunately, Tira has been one of the main characters since the third installment. And from what I understand, a fairly beloved installment as well. Now, they've already announced that 2B from Nier Automata is going to be a new character, and I could understand paying a bit of money for that. Maybe even as high as $3. Outside of that, though, I cannot justify that kind of a payment. And it just feels bad. Rather than try and present an actual good game, they've instead just decided to paywall things and make you try and exploit you for more money, and it really just kind of shows. I had hoped that with the advent of what happened with Street Fighter VI that this kind of stuff would stop, but apparently it doesn't. And that just makes me a whole lot of sad. That being said, all in all, Soulcalibur VI, for anyone who's played the Soulcalibur series, has enjoyed the Soulcalibur series at any point, this is a wonderful installment, even if it is just a bit of a time waster. But, as always, these are just my opinions, and opinions are subjective. What did you think? Did you play it? If so, did you enjoy it? Leave your explanation as to why I'm wrong down in the comments. And if you did enjoy what you saw here, consider giving a like and a subscription. Always helps the channel out. And we'll see you back here next time, everybody. I gotta try and not die to Mitsurugi here.